We are talking about not just family.
Yes.
Today we are talking about a young family.
Yes.
And I want to believe that your family is in that category.
Yes.
What would you call a young family? What qualifies a family to be called young, in your view?
In my view, a young family is, I would like to maybe add on what he said, but maybe limit it a little. A young family is a group of people who are linked, not necessarily by blood,
Yes.
not necessarily by blood, but they have a kind of bond that unites them, a unique bond that unites them, not just a bond. That is, in my perspective, a view of a young family. Mine is young maybe because we have the little children.
Okay, you have little
that is
children.
also, yes, that is also an area to look at, the young family. It's just a beginning. Yeah.
So as the family begins, then we can call it a young family.
Yes.
Let's talk in terms of years. You could say between between day one and like how many years?
I would look
Because
at.
I always hear people say young married. So
Yes.
when does a young married stop being a young married?
There is an infant,
Okay.
and then there is the young. The infant is 0 to 5.
Okay.
Then the young one,
Yes.
that is really getting into it, is 5 to 10.
Okay.
Yes,
So we
that's
could
the-
safely say a young family is that one that has existed for the last, 10 and below years.
Yes, 10 and below.
Okay, we will take that for our program today. Now, Dr. Emuron, we are not only talking about a family today, but we are talking about leading it, and particularly leading that young family. And now that this is indeed about leadership, in your view, briefly, what would you call leadership? How do you understand leadership? and then I will let Isaac add family and let us get to know what family leadership is about. From your angle.
Leadership, from my perspective,
Yes.
is the ability to mobilize, the ability to inspire, the ability to lead or to give direction to a group of people,
Yes.
in order to achieve a specific goal.
Okay.
I also want to say it is a task
Yes.
meant to mobilize resources.
Okay.
Mobilize resources.
Yes.
For you to be able to lead
Okay.
those people who have been assigned to lead.
Awesome. So I'm hearing three words. I'm hearing mobilization, I'm hearing inspiration, and I'm hearing direction.
Yeah.
So if we are to boil down leadership to three words, they would be the ability to mobilize, to inspire, and also to give direction to a group of people. Now, I think your work, Isaac, is made simpler. So now put family and leadership together. What would you say family leadership is?
I would simply to guide.
Okay.
That is the guide this group of people to kind of achieve not what me as a family leader would want,
Yes.
but to achieve a collective goal.
Okay.
Yes,
Something that will benefit the whole family.
exactly.
I think that should take us to a very important point of reflection here. That when we are talking about family leadership, we are not talking about what will benefit the man himself as the leader of the family. We are talking about the man mobilizing his family, inspiring his family,
Yes.
giving directions to his family as he sends them to a future that will benefit all of them, not himself alone. I think that's a very important thing to reflect upon as family leaders. And now let's get to the gist of the matter, Isaac.
Yes.
You are a young family leader, and our focus today is how to lead a young family.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges that young family leaders face as they try to lead their families?
Oh, those ones you could write a very long list. And
I'm getting my pen ready.
Yeah, but I'll kind of bring them into a nutshell. The challenges that the young family leaders face.
Yes.
One, we have, it's a general one, the world itself. The young family leaders are having to face, it's them against the world. Because I have my family, and then we have the worldly things, worldly possessions.
We want to get as clear, as direct, as open,
Yes.
as transparent as
Yes.
possible. When you say we have the worldly things, what do you mean?
One, you have your friends, you have your family,
Yes.
you have, all these can be challenges. How? Your friends. When I start my young family, I am going to have to let go of some friends who have my family, right?
Yes.
That is a challenge that many are facing, that difficulty to let go of some of those worldly things.
Okay.
To let go of some. I had said family.
Yes.
Family, you will have family members that may be against your young family. So the difficulty in choosing between family and your friend, some of them actually do face.
Friend?
My wife is my
So
friend.
let's get direct.
Exactly.
Yes, so say
Yes.
you are, because somebody watching may not understand your language. Of my friend.
Yes, I
Yeah, I
do
want
get
us
it.
to really help the people.
I
who
do
are-
get it.
So
One,
say
my wife,
children, man, woman.
Yes, I
So
do.
the point is, family members that may not really be in for you as you're making your own decisions in favor of your wife.
Exactly. Exactly. Some of the people,
Yes.
some of the young men,
Yes.
have that challenge of, if I do it in favor of my wife, I am sending away my other family members.
Yes,
That
yes.
is that includes my brothers, my sisters,
My
my
in-laws,
family,
my-
all those.
Yes.
But if I do it for them, I'm sending it away. So that split, that kind of split decision making that some people have to make is kind of a big challenge
Yes.
for very many of the young men. Yes. And I would give it as the final one,
Yes.
the peer pressure. As we are very well aware of the growing trends, there are very many trends that keep coming up that could either break or build the family.
Yes.
A young family leader,
Yes.
if you, I would call it, get taken up by the trend, by whichever trend comes up, you are kind of making a choice. So it
Trends
is
like what, or like which ones? What kind? What do you mean?
the trends keep coming up.
Yes.
There are quite a number of things that keep coming up.
Like in the area of fashion.
Yes, fashion.
design,
Yes.
cars, the type of furniture in the home.
Exactly. So I'm having, because I see my friends are driving the most posh cars,
Yes.
driving the most posh bikes. I say that in reference to that bike that I really love. So you once you make a choice to follow the trend, follow what is there, you do not know what comes up ahead.
Yes.
I might see my friends are driving the most posh cars, and then I'm like, let me save up. I've saved up a lot of money, and then you make your own decision.
Probably you
Yes.
blow it up.
Yes, you say, me also go and
peer pressure.
yes, Let me also go and get because my friends are.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I'm hearing, number one, challenges with the world around us.
Yes.
Things to do with difficulty in letting go
Yes.
of some of the things that you... Do you know that when I got married, when I started to become a family leader, one of the things I used to do was playing table pool.
Yes.
It was one of those games I was doing as a single man. And I was doing it almost maybe 3 times every week or something like that. And as a single man, I would spend there a lot of time in the evenings after work, maybe after that go look for supper, go to my little crib and sleep. But now I have this, this wife. The evenings is when I'm supposed to be going home, but it's when I used to play my good game.
Yeah.
So giving it away had to take a lot of introspection, self-reflection, and
Yes.
reprioritizing, redirecting my priorities to the new responsibility. So I hear
Exactly.
you when you talk about letting go of some of the things you've been looking at as a young man.
Yes.
You also talked about family members that may not be in support of your decisions. And there is something you said without speaking it, which is about choosing between your wife and other people.
Yes.
And then you've talked about peer pressure, and then the trends that keep coming and challenging you on your decisions as a young man.
Yes.
How about issues around money? Does a young man who is starting to lead his family face any challenges around the issues of money?
Yes, they do. Money actually is one of the biggest challenges that most of these young families face.
So why were
because
you about it?
you see, it's very interesting, the aspect of money. You are a young man who has been fending for yourself.
Yes.
Everything that you've been earning is all for you. For you.
For your consumption.
Yes, for my consumption and no one else. And then here is another person. And then another group of persons that have come. And you who is seen as the young leader.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you allocate or how do you apportion these monies that you have been... So for example, you were playing pool. How do you allocate this money that you used to play for pool? Is it still going to go back to the pool table? Or is it So you see, for you can stop, but then there are others who still have that kind of ego that will not allow them to let it go.
Yeah.
Yes.
And while for me it was table pool, for some people it is soccer.
Exactly.
For others it is...
We have movies, we have soccer, we have there's quite a lot.
Okay.
Video games
You
right
also
now.
talked about your bike that you love. It could be just one bike. And, you see a
Yes.
young man
and
on
taking
the
the
bike
road.
and he's holding the bike from up there. Oh my.
Yes.
Okay. And how about the issue of not being able to know actually what to do as far as leading your family is concerned since you were just beginning? Does that sometimes arise as one of the challenges? Ignorance about what marriage is about, lack of knowledge about how to parent, because you were starting out as a leader.
Yes.
Have you faced that as a person?
Me, personally, I haven't faced that challenge of not knowing because I had a very good example.
Okay.
Yes, I had a very good example that I used to look up to. But there are quite a number of people who are young men out there that are not taken through how to lead their young families, how to lead their families in general, not just young families, but lead their families, because you find it is the ladies who are taken to their singers, they have meetings with their mothers and all those, and they are taken through how you have to treat, but it is rare to find some parents who sit their son down and say, okay,
my
now
son,
this is how you have to do it, this is how you have to do it.
It is assumed you already know these things as young.
That is where the problem is. assumption.
So when you look at these different challenges we've just talked about so far, difficulty in letting go, family members that may not be supportive of the new decisions you are making, choosing between the wife and others, peer pressure, the different trends and fashions, challenges around money, and lack of knowledge about how to lead the family, even uncertainty about the wife choices. There are some young men who are not yet sure whether they made the right choice of the wife.
Exactly.
In the first 1 or 2 years, they are still wondering whether. So, if I can put you on the spot, my brother.
Yes.
Out of all this, what has been your toughest challenge?
Oh, my toughest challenge in the 5 years.
Yes.
In the 5 years of
5 years of your marriage.
Of my marriage was actually that aspect of the family, where something came up, and we had to keep reporting to police. But it was me having to make a choice between a family member and my wife.
Oh yeah.
That was the biggest challenge.
Okay.
It breaks you here and there.
Yeah, of course.
But my wife is my eternity.
Say that again.
My wife is my eternity. I can't.
Mrs. Charity Bakutana, you are my eternity. Awesome. Thank you for sharing all these things, Isaac. You see, I've taken some good time on you to hear out those different challenges that young men face in trying to lead their families. Thank you very much for opening up and sharing those different things. They say that by the time a young man grows to know that his father was right, he already has a son himself who thinks he is wrong. Let me say that again. By the time a young man grows up to know that his father was right, he already has a son who thinks he is wrong himself. So here is the story of the son. And right now, I would like to turn it to the father. Dr. Emuron, did you also face these kinds of things when you were a young family leader? Tell me about the first 5 to 8 years of your married life as a young family leader.
I think let's first get to one point. That in life, there is always what is called the first step.
The first step.
And that first step leads you towards building up an experience. And so as you build up experience, you come across so many other encounters, including challenges. And I'm no exception.
Okay.
I really had them.
Were they any different from what you've just heard?
Yeah, except man, I think were unique in a sense that I got to them when I almost didn't have a kind of strict role model.
Yes.
Somebody that can say, I want to be like that one. No, that one wasn't there. Okay. But for me, you said
I didn't ask who that was, but I know who that was.
I know you tell us. You tell us. Yes. And so I had them to the extent that, let's say, when I say we find a family, one of the issues I overlooked was the issue of extended families.
Okay.
Which is a very common characteristic in African setup, family setups. And so at that time, mine was huge.
Your extended family was huge. So when you say huge, give us a picture. What does huge mean in this instance?
Huge,
like
at
how
one
many?
point, at one point,
yes,
I had 21 grown-ups.
Yes.
To look after.
To look after.
To look after.
I thought you basically meant 21 adults you were related with, but not to look after.
Related in that, okay, for instance, like as extended families.
Yes.
My brothers who passed on, my brother-in-law who passed on. No,
we
had to help them.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't let them be.
So when you say we, you mean you and your wife?
Me and my wife.
21 of them.
Yes.
To look after, and you are a young man. How old were you then, approximately?
Oh well, I was a little bit grown up. I think I could have been. I could have been about 34.
Okay.
34.
Okay.
34,
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, 34, and I had been in the bank for about 10 or so years.
And then in the marriage for like how many years by that time?
About 5 years.
5 years.
5
Yes.
years. And so it was challenging because, like I mentioned,
Oh
you
my.
must mobilize resources
Oh my.
to
20.
be able to lead. Yeah, you must be there to have the guts to say, "Hey man, you are doing badly this way.
Yes.
Come to the line."
Yes.
Yeah? And so it was kind of a challenge. And in many of those cases, I think there was a feeling that I was not doing enough
Okay.
to provide.
Even when you had 21 people to
Yes.
look after.
Yeah, and maybe that one was, back home.
Yes.
They would start saying, "I think it's the wife." The blame would go back to the wife. That's the wife who is not letting us have access to
Our
especially-
sons' resources.
Especially when they knew I was working in the Central Bank.
Yes.
The highest institution of financial refuge.
How can you tell
How
people
can
you
you say you don't
have
have money? Yeah, that would be a lie, seen as a lie. So the money would be there, absolutely in their thinking, but then it's the wife who
Yes.
is not releasing the pass.
Mhm. So in that, I actually hear I hear, in fact, 3 different challenges there of a young family leader. One, it has to do with expectations of the people around, especially family members,
Yes.
as far as the responsibilities that they socially expect you to fulfill.
True.
2, I hear mobilizing resources that are enough to cater for your family.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to add something more before I put my brother on the spot again?
Well, I maybe the only thing I want to add is that I think good enough I was firm
Okay.
on my ground,
Yes.
especially in relationship to my wife.
Okay.
Because I knew she was a supporting structure
Mhm.
to me in terms of decision making, in terms of applying and utilizing the little resources that we got.
Yes.
And I think we've made very formidable progress.
Okay.
Support.
When you were firm on the position of your wife in your family as a young family leader, you made progress in your family. I think that is extremely important to take note of. That where there is firmness for you as a young man who is leading your family concerning the position of your wife, then that will help you to make progress. You will always find that you have the in-laws, you have the relatives, you have the friends who always want to come and claim a bigger position in your family beyond the position your wife holds in your family. As we are hearing from Dr. Emuron, it is critical. It is important for you as a young man who has a wife in that family to elevate your wife to her rightful position over and above all other relatives. For that reason, a man shall leave his father and mother, and he shall be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one. When you become firm about the position of your wife in your family, you will make progress. Isaac, when you were growing up, what do you remember about your dad as a young family leader?
Oh.
Then after that, we will take some break.
Oh, that is.
What are some of the things you remember about that young family leader when you were a young man, when you were a child?
That was. No, it's okay. It's okay. He can look this way. He can look this way because we always tell him. We always try to remind him.
Yes.
He was, and we think we know he still is, but not that much.
Yes.
A disciplinarian.
A disciplinarian.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
He.
Explain, please.
I'll quote his statement.
Yes.
Stick and carrot.
Stick and carrot.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Once you did something bad, the stick came out,
Not a carrot.
not a carrot.
Because some young men, as they are leading their families, looking after their children, a child does something wrong, and instead of a stick, they actually give a carrot.
Exactly.
Sometimes a verbal carrot. Hey, my son, hey, you've done that. Okay, you come and play. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Once you did something wrong, stick.
Yes.
Once you did something good,
Mm-hmm.
the carrot came out.
Yes.
And you would enjoy the carrot.
Okay.
Because it came out in plenty.
So you remember him for being a father who was disciplining his children.
Yes. Yes.
And discipline meant both the stick for wrongdoing
Yes.
and the carrot for
Yes.
right doing.
Yes.
What
And
else?
he was always there.
Availability.
He was
Presence.
always is available, even up to now.
Wow.
I still seek some guidance from him
Yes.
in terms of family, in terms of other matters.
Mm-hmm.
I seek it. Right from the time we joined school, right from the time we joined campus,
Yes.
he was always there.
Mm-hmm.
He always has been there.
Yes. And then number 3, what do you remember about that young family leader?
Respectable.
Respectable.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He attracted and gave respect
Yes.
where it was needed.
Mm-hmm.
So you would always move with your head high.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
You were not on tenterhooks to think that any one moment you are about to hear that your dad has been taken by police to prison for
Not
stealing
at
or
all.
slapping somebody. What? He gave a good example to the family,
Exactly.
to the children.
Yes.
Also.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, yes, yes.
Why don't you join me and we clap for that young family leader? How do you feel about that? That your son saw a disciplinarian who looked at the children, wanting them to grow up into responsible citizens, 2, an available father who was always present, and 3, a respectable man of dignity. That's the memory that your children have of you as a young family leader.
I really feel great because somehow, when I was going into this family relationship,
Yes.
that was my vision.
Okay.
I wanted a family which would be, appreciative
Mm-hmm.
of the journey they have passed through.
Yes.
I wanted a family which, each one of them would be at his best,
Mhm.
his or her best.
Okay.
Yeah, and would appreciate the role of a parent.
Yes.
in their upbringing.
Ladies and gentlemen who are watching us today, there is no greater need for any child than a father who is present. There is no greater gift that a father can give to his children than to be available to them. We are talking about how to lead a young family. We are going to take a quick short break. And when we come back, we are going to now delve deeper into the practical bits of the house. We want to get to know, for example, what Dr. Emuron Francis has observed about the young family leaders nowadays. What are some of those things that we now see? How can somebody who is an elder, somebody who is already an elderly family leader, how can he be of a great resourcefulness to the younger men? We are going to be talking about all those different aspects of leading a young family. So stay right there where you are, and if you're planning to leave, I am telling you, you're about to miss something awesome. So stay tuned. Samuel Bakutana, your host.
I was a ninja, but the ground was not right for being a ninja. 1, it was a day school. 2, there was nobody to provoke you and you fight. Then, but number 3, what I did was to become a DJ around Kampala.
Then I said, now I know you want me to get saved, so I am going to get saved, but give me time. Can you imagine telling God, if you ask him for something, can you imagine him telling you, give me time?
Me, whenever I've gone in Chankwanza, I don't go with my wife, but I go with my God.
In the world in which I lived by then, there was no nursery school in our area. We couldn't hear about them.
May the joy of serving others be to us our true reward. Let us love indeed as brothers, as disciples of the Lord.
Brethren, yes we can. We can clear the debt of church house. And I want to invite you to give generously to the love gift. May God bless you as you give.
Who are you? What do you seek to achieve in your personal life? By the way, when did you become a man? And if we talked with your wife, what would she say about you? And when your children look at you, what do they see? Do you know what makes you tick? What makes you unique? What makes you basically you? Are you living a life of impact? Are you living a life of influence? Are you living a life of significance? Introducing to you the Inspired Family Leader, an interactive, provocative, and inspiring show that is going to challenge, that is going to equip, that is going to encourage men to strengthen their family leadership for national transformation. The Inspired Family Leader with Samuel A. Bakutana every Saturday 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. East African Time here on Church of Uganda Family TV. Live, love, and lead. Live exemplarily, love authentically, and lead relationally. This is the Inspired Family Leader program indeed. And today we are focusing on how to lead a young family. How to lead a young family. And in studio today, for some of you who have just tuned in, is Dr. Emuron Francis, together with Mr. Isaac Oebe Emuron. So father and son, both of whom are already fathers now. And we are here to hear their experiences as we learn how to lead a young family. Coming to you, Dr. Emuron Francis, what have you observed about many young men these days as they try to lead their families?
It is possibly what I would call a generic question.
It is.
You want to assume that every, maybe I've come across every young family.
Most that you have come across. What do you observe from the point of an elder? What do you observe?
But I think what is characteristically common is that, and you gave that example, is that they are good leaders,
yes,
if only they can stick to it.
To what? When you say it?
To observing the norms, the correct norms of leadership.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah? And the example we hinted this short while ago was that of seeing a child. Let me call it messing around. And you praise that child instead of bringing the stick. The stick, eh? Yeah? It is give the child a carrot. You're encouraging that child to practice the more.
Yes.
The mischief.
Whatever you reward will grow.
Will grow. And that could be a tendency these days. There is more love to the child without inducing in that sense of discipline for the child. So you can mix love and discipline without necessarily, making the child feel like it.
Actually, I think discipline is part of love. In fact, you can't claim to love your child if you are not disciplining them
Exactly.
to make them grow up into a responsible
Exactly.
citizen.
Me, I would love someone who tell me, Francis,
Yes.
your eyes funny, looking funny.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you know there's a peg in it.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me a chance to go and remove that
What?
peg. It's not praising my eye, which
Yes.
is not good. Yeah, so I think that's one of the problems we have. And then I think Isaac also mentioned it.
Mm.
The young marrieds these days don't sit down and draw a kind of a long-term plan,
Okay.
perspective,
Okay.
a vision.
Yes.
What do they want to be in 10 so many years ahead?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Instead, they want to look at what is my friend doing.
Yes.
He has built a house. How did he build it?
Yes.
Eh? In fact, they don't ask how to build it. How did he build it?
I need
You
to build
want
it
I
too.
need to build it.
Yes.
How to get the resources to build it is another story.
Okay.
Which to me would be a bit of carelessness because to you, that house may not be the priority.
It's not in line with your long-term vision.
Not at all. And so those are some of the things I would want to say maybe.
Oh, yes.
It is there. And for also these days, Isaac takes his child,
Mm-hmm.
just an example,
Yes.
to a school which pays 1 million shillings
Mm-hmm.
per term.
Yes.
And it could afford a better amount of fees,
Mhm.
affordable fees
Yes.
in a school which could also offer the same
The
quality
same quality of
education.
education.
Some quality of education.
But maybe the
But
other school
because-
has a bigger name.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
which is not, I think, doesn't help the family
Yes.
very, very much.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they would be good leaders if they observe the correct norms of leadership. Number two, they would do it better if they injected truth into the love they are giving to their children by way of disciplining them. Three, they would do better if they put together a vision for the family and have a long-term view, not short-termism. And finally, if they were not having some poor financial choices out of peer pressure. Isaac, briefly, what has helped you so far? 5 years down the road, what has helped you so far as far as leading your young family is concerned?
Well, number one, I would attribute it to the Almighty.
Okay.
He's been there all the way through.
Where do you often meet you and him? You see, he's been there.
It's
like you.
very interesting. We don't particularly have any meeting point. Even
Yes.
here, I could be with him.
First,
while
finish
we-
the program. The program.
Yes, but we always have our short conversations.
Okay.
Yes, meaningful conversations.
So if I'm to put this in a more relatable manner for some viewers that may not really have this background that you
Yes.
have, are you talking about the state of your spiritual life?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
Take time to pray.
Yeah.
It helps a lot.
All right.
Yes.
Mhm.
Number two would be my wife.
Your wife.
Yes.
Mhm.
Without her, we would not be where we are.
So how has your wife helped you in leading your family better as a young family leader?
I actually don't lead the family alone. I lead
Mhm.
it with my wife.
Yes.
Yes. Because while if I am going off road, she kind of nudges me back. If somewhere she's going off the road, I am able to pull her back.
That is on assumption that you listen to each other.
Exactly. We do listen to each other.
Okay.
If I don't listen to her, if she doesn't listen to me, then the house is going to be very silent.
Yes.
Yes, but she has been a very great great drive
Okay.
to helping lead the family.
Mhm.
Yes.
So no matter how a son grows, he will still have to always look up to his dad. When you look at those two particular things you talked about,
Yes.
I always see them in your dad. And so I will come to you, Dr. Emuron. What, in your view, could be the role of the older men in helping the younger family leaders, the younger men, to lead their families? What do you see as the role of the older men in enabling the young men to lead their families well?
I think first and foremost, it's important that the older men, at all times, play the role model kind of thing.
Role models.
They should become role models.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from which the younger families will learn, and build up experience about marriage per se. Because if they act in a funny manner, it's the same way that the children, these young marrieds, possibly act. They say, I think that is the norm in marriage.
Yeah. Even so and so does it. The other elder does it.
Yeah, it does it.
Yeah.
I have done it for so long.
Yeah, even the other man divorced his wife.
You see, that
he's a big man.
Mm.
So I think it's okay.
So that one I think will be a very good guidance to the young marrieds.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other one I think is counseling per se.
Yes,
I
counseling.
think we need to, older men need to counsel. Wherever, there's a family, a young family going astray, in an view that is not okay, it's good to intervene.
Yeah.
Although, sometimes you say, then the family is married. No. Third parties, no, this time we're essential third parties to correct the situation which should be going wrong.
On that point, where is the dividing line between coming into council and give advice and intruding in matters of this young family? Where is the dividing line there? Because I think some older men, while they are attempting to come and help out the young men, they now become a real intrusion into their family. They want to make decisions for them, especially if they are, for example, fathers like you and in the life of Isaac.
Yeah.
They become more of being intrusive than being really helpful. Where is the dividing line?
I think that's actually where the point is. One should be able to know that he's not dipping the hand so much into this false marriage.
Yes.
No? Yours should be merely consultative,
Yes.
in case they need to consult like he sometimes does, and shouldn't be administrative, for instance. I shouldn't be
Consultative, not administrative.
not administrative. Yeah, I shouldn't. That's if it is there, that is their issue.
Yes.
So when they feel that it's essential for them to come over to me,
Okay.
then I will say, okay, now I think this is not the right way to do it.
So in other words, we should let them reach out more to us than we reach out to them.
In a way.
In a way, because they are the
Yes.
ones who know their needs. Okay.
Yes. And you don't want also that situation where you pamper them so much with everything.
Yes.
Let them first touch the fire. The fire is hot. They say, the thing is hot.
That's how I taught my daughter Petra that a cat of burns. Yes, I would always say, hey, don't touch that. And she sees you look this way and she wants to touch it.
Yes.
So one time I just kept quiet. I saw her, I kept quiet. She came and she touched it. And that was the last time she touched
that's
it.
the point where you see, I told you this is bad. You shouldn't do it. Yes. Then you will know the reason why you're saying don't do it that way. Because you have built the experience over time. Yeah.
So the role of the elders.
Yes, and then the other one I think is discussions like this. That's it for actually. Quality time, Quality time with the young marrieds.
Yes.
Have quality time with them to talk freely, where they have issues, you can say, and I think this can be solved in this manner. You can help, for instance, if maybe there's a child, they need school fees, and they are finding a tight corner, of course, but not want to feel hard, I might say, take this but with interest.
Okay.
So that you know that there's a sense of no free lunch.
And of course, that's also an assumption that you, as the older man, you have saved, you have invested, you have something that you can give out. You can't give what you don't have.
True, and then of course the other one is you have to guide them in terms of what to do to build a strong family.
Awesome. Four things: be a role model for those younger men who are trying to lead their families. Number two, as an older man, offer yourself to counsel, to counsel the younger men, to help them lead their families. Number three, give quality time to them, those younger men. Give quality time. Offer a time for conversation and discussion. And number four, give them guidance so that they can be able to build stronger families. Indeed, when you teach your son, you have taught your son's son. Because what your son has learned in their life is what they will pass on to also their own children. So as we almost come to the close of this conversation today, Isaac, do you have any question for your dad as an experienced family leader that he should answer very briefly in 1 minute?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This rarely happens where I have to ask dad a question. Most of them are directed to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You've been a very good role model, very good mentor, very good advisor. What more should what more value, or what value should me as a young man add to my family, my young family, to make it much better?
Okay.
I think the main thing is to provide for them a platform where each one of them, each of your members of the family, works at his or her best. Meaning that at the end of the day, each one of those members in the family should have his or her own objective or a goal which he or she should achieve at a certain point in time. And you have to facilitate that. Because when all of you have certain paramount qualities, then in total, the quality of the family will be much better. And I think that is what I try to do. I need to make sure that everybody who has passed through my hands gets quality input, so that at the end of the day, the output is also of high quality.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Provide a platform, Isaac. Provide a platform where your family members can be at their best. You may want to do the same thing. Do you have any particular question you want to ask your son as a young family leader, to which you will answer in just a minute?
Maybe this is an offshoot from what we just discussed.
Yes.
The question, Isaac, would be, in your marriage life, to come, when, for instance, you reach my age, what would you want to look back and say, yes, this is what I have achieved. This is the legacy I'm leaving behind. That's if you live at my age.
How old are you right now?
I'm still going ahead.
How old are you right now, by the way?
I'm 68.
68. So the picture of Isaac at 68, the legacy.
What do I look back and say, yes, over the last so many years, this is what I've achieved, and this is what I'm leaving for me to be remembered about.
In just 1 minute.
Oh, wow. That is a very powerful question. Yeah, of course I would want to go beyond that time. What would I want to leave as my legacy?
Mm-hmm.
One would have to be my educated children.
Educated children.
That would be the biggest legacy that one can leave behind. Besides the educated children, would want to leave behind. I would give it a good name.
Good name.
Yes, one where if someone wants to relate to something, you remember how Isaac used to do this, you remember how Isaac, that is the legacy I would want to leave behind.
Wow. A good name and educated children. Indeed, a good name is more precious than rubies and other precious gems. Indeed. So we are coming to the close of our program today, and I want to thank you for making it to this program today. Dr. Emuron, Francis, and also you, Mr. Isaac Oebe. At this moment, I want us to do something. In just a minute or even less than a minute, would you like to place your hands on your son, who is now a young father, a young family leader, and bless him so that he will grow into a responsible, strong, effective family leader himself? Just a minute or less. It's okay, it's okay.
Oh.
Isaac, I love you. I call my children, I bless them all the time and wish them all the best. But this special case, Isaac, may God bestow upon you all good deeds that you should be able to pass over to your children, to your family in total. Bring them up as responsible people in this community. Bring them up as people who admire others and support them in all ways possible. Be a responsible father. May your family be strong. May your family reflect the will of God. May your family be an epitome of Christianity.
Amen.
In Jesus' name I pray.
Wow! Wow, 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 wow. Bless your sons, bless your children. And I have this small thing, please take it for your wife and say, I'm coming from the program, from the Inspired Family Leader. Take just something small to Linda, your wife, and say this is from the Inspired Family Leader. We will not go past this time right now. We have come to the end of this program. As a young family leader, just know that it is possible for you to lead your family.